All right, y'all, so we have a bit of a bombshell here, if I don't say so myself. CNN has an exclusive report. Quote, Trump employee number 5, who unknowingly helped move classified documents, speaks out. So this guy right here that you see on the screen, I believe as the Young Turks pointed out, he's quite the Brian Stelter lookalike. I agree, he is. Even like the way he talks kind of reminds me of Brian Stelter. But he's coming out, spilling the beans, telling the whole story, and making it clear, I'm going after Trump. I'll testify against Trump for everything that not only I was put through, but also one of the people who was in charge at Mar-a-Lago, his friend Carlos, for everything that Trump put that guy through too. So here, let me give you some of the specifics here. A longtime Mar-a-Lago employee who is a central witness in the investigation into former President Donald Trump's handling of classified documents is now speaking publicly because he believes that voters should hear the truth about his former boss and the case before the November election. Brian Butler, who is referenced as Trump employee 5 in the classified documents indictment brought by special counsel Jack Smith, told CNN in an exclusive interview that he doesn't believe the criminal case against Trump is a witch hunt, as the former president has claimed. Butler gave testimony to federal investigators that informed crucial portions of last year's criminal obstruction charges against Trump and his 2 co-defendants, Walt Nauta, a personal aide to Trump, and Carlos de Oliveira, a property manager at Mar-a-Lago, who had been Butler's closest friend until recently. Butler, who was employed at Mar-a-Lago for 20 years, has spoken repeatedly with investigators, paying for his own attorney and breaking with the orbit around Trump that he knows so well, setting him apart from his former colleagues and friends, as his former boss has been named in multiple federal investigations. Butler told CNN how he unknowingly helped Nauta deliver boxes of classified information from Mar-a-Lago to the former president's plane in June 2022, the same day that Trump and his attorney were meeting with the Justice Department at Mar-a-Lago about the classified documents. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was these pictures and videos that came out of people from Mar-a-Lago loading Trump's plane with these like legal-looking boxes. And we didn't know at the time exactly what was going on, but speculation was those are classified documents, aren't they? Yes, they were. That day, June 3rd, 2022, Butler received what he remembers as a strange request from Nauta, who wanted to know if he could borrow an Escalade from the car service Butler ran for Mar-a-Lago. Trump and his family were about to fly to New Jersey that day for the summer, and it was typically Butler and his valets who handled getting their luggage onto the plane. But it was an unusual request from Nauta for the car, Butler says, because Nauta typically didn't handle moving luggage and asked Butler for the car in a guarded way. Butler says Nauta and de Oliveira loaded up the vehicle. Before driving it to the West Palm Beach airport, Butler arrived with his own car filled with Trump family luggage, then helped Nauta load Trump's plane with the luggage, as well as bankers' boxes of documents that were in the Escalade. Butler says he didn't realize the banker boxes contained anything out of the ordinary. Quote, I left Mar-a-Lago. I texted him, hey, I'm on my way. He followed me. Blah, blah, blah. So he goes on to tell the story. Now, this guy also goes on to point out Trump and everybody in his orbit and Trump's attorneys, they desperately tried to keep this guy on their side with their team. Basically trying to say, hey, look, we'll pay for all your legal bills. Don't worry about it. We just want loyalty. And this guy was added to a group text with all the Trump people, and they were asking, how solid is Carlos? Is he somebody to be trusted? And he's like, yeah, Carlos would never turn on the boss, as they called him, or Trump. And so he gives all that backstory. He also gives the backstory of seeing Trump blurt out classified information to an Australian billionaire at Mar-a-Lago. And this was actually reported, 60 Minutes? There was some report about this not that long ago where Trump was trying to get this Australian billionaire to have the Australian government make some purchase of stealth nuclear submarine technology, and he's blurting out all this classified information about these nuclear submarines. This was a big story not that long ago about some of the stuff he was doing with the classified information. He also goes on to say that a lot of the classified information were in these unprotected rooms in Mar-a-Lago where basically anybody could get to those rooms. And this is a guy who basically stood up and said, I don't want your lawyer. I don't want your money. I'm going to have my own lawyer, and I'm going to cooperate here because I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm now wrapped up in this mess. Because again, he brought the Trump family luggage to the plane, took all that out, and then he helped his friend Carlos empty the other car, which had the classified documents in those banker boxes, right? So he's like, I'm not going down for this dude. I'm not going down. And so now he's coming out, he's blowing the whistle, and he's telling everybody here's what I know. Here's how it went down. Here are the specifics. And look, he's saying very clearly, yeah, I'm going to testify against him. Because now in retrospect, I know exactly what was going on. I know all the details. And he had us all wrapped up in a criminal conspiracy unbeknownst to us. Maybe there were other people involved who did know, but my understanding is it's not just this guy who's flipped. There are other Trump employees who have flipped. So look, we come full circle to a point that I've made to you guys before, which is the biggest slam dunk case against Trump, and it's not really close, is this one, the classified documents case. Now, you might think, and this is understandable if you don't know all the specifics and the ins and outs and the details, you might think, well, hold on, Kyle. Wasn't Mike Pence caught with classified documents? Wasn't Joe Biden caught with classified documents? If you go after Trump for this, how could you not go after Pence and Biden? And Pence and Biden have already been let off the hook. Well, the reaction to that is very simple. In the case of Mike Pence and in the case of Joe Biden, the second the federal government reached out to them and said, hey, you may have these things, you're not allowed to have those things, both of them cooperated 100%. Immediately said, take whatever you got to take, look through whatever you got to look through. I got nothing to hide here. To the extent I did anything wrong, my bad. By all means, let me cooperate 1,000% with you. That's what happened with Pence. I don't even like Pence. And that's what happened with Biden. I'm not even a big fan of Biden either, right? With Trump, he stonewalled them for a year and a half, said he didn't have the documents, shuffled the documents around. When he was finally forced to turn some over, he turned over some, but didn't turn over all of them. Had security camera footage erased. There's another thing this guy talks about, that Carlos was responsible for getting the tech guy to erase the security camera footage so that the feds couldn't get it and see them moving the classified documents from one place to another after they had already been told to give up the classified documents. So if Pence and Biden complied 1,000%, Trump didn't comply 100,000%. He did everything he could to stonewall, swat aside, lie, and guess what? That caught up to him. And so the fact that he wasn't forthright, if he was told you got to hand this stuff over and he just handed it all over, we literally would not be talking about this. The guy is a former president of the United States. They were giving him every out possible. And by the way, like I said, when he was told to hand it over, year goes by, year and a half goes by, and then finally they were left no choice, but we got to go get this stuff back, and they did the raid. But to the extent there's a two-tier justice system, it is two tiers in the sense that they gave him way more leeway than they would have given anybody else. Look at how they treated Chelsea Manning. Look at how they treat Edward Snowden, right? Trump stonewalls them, obfuscates, lies, and they give him so much room, and then eventually, okay, we got to go get him. We got to go get these classified documents. And so that's how it's different. And in terms of, from a legal perspective, he's so caught on this. Multiple people testifying against you. We know what went down. We know about the deleted security video camera. What is there to debate? There is nothing to debate. And we already know from the civil cases, whether it's the tax fraud, the insurance fraud, the business fraud, or the E. Jean Carroll stuff, he's not Teflon in the courtroom. In the courtroom, facts matter. And this is a courtroom where facts are going to matter, and this guy is out there telling it all, right? Telling it all. So it's a big deal, man. Yet again, this is further confirmation that this case is the strongest. I mean, it's simple. Connect the dots. Point 1 to point 2 to point 3. We're done here, right? There is no novel application of a legal theory, which, by the way, is not necessarily bad. It's just uncharted territory in a sense, right? So look out, dude. Look out. It's getting ugly for the big guy. The only question is, as we always come back to, how quickly can you get this done? Because that's absolutely going to matter. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you all very much. Everybody, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively. It costs you absolutely nothing. We're trying to get to that 10 million sub number, and we got a ways to go. I'm just saying. We got a ways to go. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. You can like the video, comment, all that fun stuff. It always helps out in the algorithm. Thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon. That link's below, or tips on YouTube. That's also below. It's the little thanks button underneath the video here. I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.